YouTube is going on. We got past the prop coming at you guys. We got NBA. I even got a college basketball play in there for you guys. We're ready to roll today. Joined as always, Stu. What's good, my man?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Obviously, got a pretty interesting slate today, Wednesday. No more Thursday night football. So, obviously, we're locked into the NBA slate, to the college basketball slate tonight. But already, obviously, a cancellation, which takes the 10-game slate down to a 9-gamer, but still pretty good. Still plenty of action tonight. So, hey, I think we got some good spots. I know we actually agree a little bit, which is unplanned and doesn't happen very often. So, I'm always fired up when we're on the same page. I think we got some good plays today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, it does not happen as much as we would like it to, but makes the dialogue a little better. I guess let's talk about a little bit this weekend. Obviously, we had the NFL action. We could talk about that, recap it a little bit, and kind of talk about that a little bit before we get into NBA.
Yeah, and I mean all the coaching stuff as well. I mean, it was obviously a very eventful weekend. We've seen a couple firings, we've seen some surprising losses. Now Sirianni and McCarthy on the chopping block, something that wasn't even like a factor, maybe like a week and a half ago, and now is on everyone's mind. And I mean, honestly, it was blowout city, right? I mean, that was kind of the case. We were expecting a lot of good games. Who knew I mean, your Packers, you must have been fired up. We haven't even talked about that. Come out the gate absolutely firing and just absolutely crush Dallas. I mean, not even a competition. Some garbage time yards at the end. Dak ended up with 60 passing attempts in that game. I didn't even realize it got that crazy. So I know he cashed both of our CD props at the very last second, which was nice to see. Garbage time finally going our way. But yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. That's why I say Dak is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, man. Even when he loses, bro. Dude puts up his numbers. The dude finds a way to cash your props. You gave me a 45-yard pass to CD to get me on my first ladder rung, which was much needed. So, yeah, really, really a fun one there. But, yeah, dude, Jordan Love doing his thing. I did not think they were going to win, right? I really did not think they were going to win. But I told you Jordan Love's going to play well. I didn't really think that there was going to be anything that would stop him from playing well. Just the defense was atrocious. I don't know why people are blaming Dak as much. I would blame that defense more than anything because there was probably 4 or 5 plays. It's just like, why? What are we doing here? You got to get to Jordan Love to really have an effect on how he plays when he gets that pressure. He was throwing deep balls. I played the completions lines for the pure fact I thought Dallas would be able to rush the passer. They were dropping Micah Parsons in coverage. What are you fucking doing, dude? Send a dude. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's what you pay this boy for. Why are we doing this? So, hey, I'll take it. I think this is going to be a very tough game for them against the Niners here. But, I don't know what I expect from that game. I really don't. San Francisco really didn't impress me much down the stretch at all. So, I say this all the time is the Packers – they don't know what they don't know yet. They don't know you're supposed to feel pressure here. They don't know that they're supposed to care more about these. They're just going out there and playing, man. And again, I liked what my boy LaFleur did. Take that ball first, go down and score, punch him in the mouth.
Yeah.
Quick 3 and out. You get the ball back. You're up 14-0. It changes how you play. And they could not run the ball, and that's what you need to do. You have to run the ball against the Packers, or else you're going to really get yourself kind of screwed. And I don't like Jair right now. He's kind of pissed me off, but damn, bro. He showed up. He showed up when he needed to.
That interception.
Hey, get the pick and then fake an injury. I like it. That's what you got to do. That's what he does.
The interception had everyone fired up. I mean, that was obviously an early turning point right there. A physical play, just beats the man. Like that was a great play. That was very fun to watch, and you kind of nailed it right there. Look at that offensive line, arguably top 5, maybe top 3 offensive line, and it's like all under 25, like 3rd round picks. You know what I mean? Like this is like a very kind of random unit of guys that have put out like a spectacular performance this year. And kind of that was the thing last week of like, yeah, they've been great, but now they're going to get this, dominant pressure rate team. They're going to get this Cowboys pass rush. And look what happened. They stood the test very well. And now people are going to say the same thing this week about the 49ers. And it'll be interesting to see if those guys, stand up once again, because I think that's going to be a really fun game.
I also want to throw up a quick middle finger to Richard Sherman. Fuck that guy. Fuck Shady McCoy. Fuck those guys. They're terrible. God, I can't listen to those dudes. Now they flip the script and just be like, oh, I didn't say that. Bro, you get everything you say recorded, bro. Like, it's literally your whole job. Still couldn't get out of it. shout out CJ Stroud. Shout out all those other good quarterbacks showing out there. Kind of expected the Bills game to go that way. Kind of expected those other games to go that way. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun. I got one best ball lineup through to the next round, which is I made 6. I have 1 through. It's literally the odds of you making 1 through, right? Because there's 6 people in it. You get 1 through. I had 1 just get screwed by the Devontae Smith, though I needed him under 22 points. Dude scored like 26, just kind of screwed me over. But my my lineup construction for the one that made it through looks good, but it's going to be weird because I have a Detroit stack, a 3-man Detroit stack, and a 3-man Tampa stack. So they're playing each other this week with a Kelsey Kincaid spot. So everybody I have plays each other. I have Aaron Jones as just a little fun spot there too. So it's like I'm kind of in 2 games. Everything's in 2 games here. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
I was curious too. Before we move out of the football world, do you have any like coaching takes? I feel like that's all the discourse right now. Any like guys you're looking out for? Any hires you want? Or I know you want to protect your guys, obviously, as a Packers fan. You got any takes on all this stuff that's going on right now?
No, my only take is I am so happy Sirianni is getting this shit. The dude's a bum, bro.
We'll see. I think he might stay.
He's a fucking bum.
I mean, I agree, but I think he might stay.
I just love that. Like, we were talking shit on Sirianni when they were winning, and then everybody was saying, "Oh, he's good. They're winning on." Yeah, dude, fuck that. You could just see how much Shane Steichen was in that freaking locker room, man. The dude was so good. Now you see what happens to Indy when he goes there every week, getting better and better. Eagles getting continually worse and worse every single week without him. I think that shows a lot. I mean, I was really happy to see them lose, and shout out Tampa. Let's go. I think it'll be a fun one. Shout out Baker, baby. We hyped up Baker all year. Yeah, shout out Baker, 303 tutties. Let's go.
It feels good because, man, the only thing I was worried about was just injury stuff. Like, we've seen what Baker's done this year. Like, he's got the rib stuff. I was a little worried he'd be banged up, but no, he came out there and was slinging it. And I mean, even the OC over there, Dave Canales, that's a guy that's probably going to get some looks for head coaching positions across the league if you got a Baker Mayfield-led offense, going now deep into the playoffs. So it'll be fun. I'm a Washington fan, as you can see behind me. So clearly the coaching stuff is a big deal to me. I mean, I still think we are one of the best spots around right now, but having some of these other surprise openings is a little bit annoying, right? Like, I know the problem is I thought Ben Johnson was kind of like a lock at a certain point. The betting markets got to like minus 200. It was looking like pretty good, but like the Eagles are such a like analytically minded organization that like I'm kind of worried they're going to swoop in there. I saw his odds to go there kind of dropped as well. So it'll be interesting. I'll obviously keep following that. I'm working on a list of my predictions for every spot right now, but I got to find those under the radar guys that people aren't talking about, because that always happens. When you watch the NFL, there's always that one random hire that kind of catches everyone off guard. And I'm trying to find it first.
Yeah, I just don't think Belichick can go to like those big offensive number teams, bro. Like,
yeah.
I don't think that's going to match well unless you literally go out and hire a huge offensive coordinator. Like, it's got to be the best offensive coordinator out there, man, because I just don't see it. Like, that offense has just been pretty much Tom Brady run that entire offense, and now it's been just garbage. So it's tough.
Who knows who has the leverage? Like no GM or like no owner wants Belichick, in my opinion, to be the GM. We've seen what that's led to. We want him to be the coach if you are an owner, right? But who knows what Belichick's thinking? Does Belichick still want to be the GM and coach? Does he want to be in the draft rooms? Or does he just want to be, the defensive coach that we know he is? Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, I'm curious if he has this whole, like, is he going to, continue to allow him to bring in his own offensive coordinators and stuff? Are we going to see some budget Matt Patricia come in this year? Because his coaching hires have been bad. His drafting has not been great. Like, it's one of those things where you just want Bill Belichick like the coach, and I don't know if he is, around with that. I don't know if he likes that idea. He could just take a break, honestly. Like, it could be one of those things where maybe he just goes nowhere and he takes his time a little bit. But that'll definitely be like the splash hire that kind of shakes everything up. My current guess, I'm going to say the Falcons. Little surprise. I'm going to say the Falcons.
Another guy who doesn't care that much about draft capital, just going to where Bijan is. That's going to be fun. So, all right, let's get to some NBA. We got a lot to talk about here, Stu. What game? What game's popping out to you? We got a full slate here outside of the cancellation game. What are we looking at here? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the Heat Raptors matchup was one that I was looking pretty closely at. I was kind of considering some quickly unders earlier. I was looking around, but at the end of the day, I think that's actually going to be a pretty close game. And to me, that's obviously a big premium. I bet on these two teams the last time they matched up, and I think I lost the cover by like a point or two. I think I had 4.5, ended on like 6 or something. So that was a bummer, but I was actually watching the game and I was enjoying it. I like watching the Heat, man. I know it's fun to hate on them, give them some shit because their fans are clinically insane and send out like worse trade requests than the Lakers fans, which is honestly just impressive at this point. So keep on firing those Tyler Hero trade machines right now. But I do really like the Heat. I mean, they got a lot of fun guys, a lot of like the grinders, the fight for every rebound. We're playing, defense every second of the game. And the Raptors have that same kind of energy as well. So in a slate where I'm looking at blowout, ugly at one-sided game, give me just two scrappy teams that are going to fight the whole game.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I got to go Luka in LA. It's tough for me to get away from that one. Not even just for anything else, but I just get to like to see Luka play the Lakers out there in LA. I think that'll be a fun matchup. Good total, 244. I thought that was a bit high in my opinion, but Luka's back. I think he pretty much rested last game, right? And they still found a way to win. Kyrie's been showing out. So I think he just kind of rested that last one just so he'd be ready for this one. I think he's going to show out in a big way. My Bucks have a good game tonight as well. I was streaming the Packers game midway through the third quarter because I was at the Bucks game that night on Sunday. Fucking epic game there with Damian Lillard hitting that game winner. I was at that game, half court, 9 rows off.
Okay.
So wild, man. So wild. It was so crazy, man. And again, I was at the game. Malik Monk, that was the most impressive. I think he was the most impressive dude out there, bro. His vert was insane. He was so quick. Every fast break was nuts. Watching him and Fox together out there because Keegan Murray got injured. They played a ton of minutes together, played the overtime. Dude, it was pretty cool to watch. And, dude, just watching Sabonis, like, dude doesn't even try to shoot the ball, bro. Like, that's why I just bet on his rebound assist every game now. Took it last night, hit it, because this dude didn't even look for a shot, bro. Against Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis don't give a shit about defense, bro. He ended up going for 20 and 10 in that game, too. So, shout out Bobby P for being that dude. It was probably by far the best sporting event I've been to in a long time.
No, I totally forgot you were at that one. That game winner was, I mean, maybe the best of the year so far. Definitely top 2 or 3. Because the thing is, you also sneakily got the best part of both. Like, you got the fun part of the Packers game. Like,
the game was over at that point.
It was over. Like, everyone at the bar was kind of just like, oh, okay. Like, I guess Dak will check down the rest of the game. But you actually got the fun part of that, and then you got sneakily one of the best games of the season. And yeah, shout out Malik Monk. We've been talking about this guy as a scorer for years. He also now leads the league in assists off the bench so far. He has more 5 assist games off the bench than anyone else, and it's like doubling everyone else except McConnell, who just we know him, but
who doesn't shoot, bro.
Yeah, ever.
And then Malik Monk still dropped 20 in that game.
Yep.
Pretty impressive. It was really cool. We ended up having this stupid drunk dude in front of us who was wearing Sabonis's flag as a scarf, and he was trying to get him to come see him. I literally look at this dude. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. I literally said that to him because everybody around us is literally yelling. No one's saying anything. And the worst part is Sabonis did so well. He was doing so well. Every rebound, yeah. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, bro. And he had this. He was with this other dude who had season tickets who had a wristband. They could get any drink. They're just going up and getting drinks. And this dude is just sucking on a vape in the thing, just hiding that thing, ripping it. And he's like 7 beers. And I'm like, dude, it's 6, bro. The game starts at 6 on a Sunday, bro. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Dude, it was so bad. Everybody was booing this dude. It was so funny, bro. I felt bad. My dad hated it because this dude's just ripping it. And the smoke is coming right off here. That I'm which sucked. But dude, it was so funny watching this dude get booed by everybody. It was so funny. This dude was such a douche. But don't be that guy, guys. If you're one of the 30 people in here, don't be that guy at a game who's just a fucking just obliterated drunk and smoking shit in there. I don't know how I ushered into it, but I didn't really care that much.
Not a great look. Definitely not a great look.
Now it just makes me hate the Kings now. I might fade them forever. So
There you go. Hey, it's working so far with Sabonis points. Like you said, the dude, he does this every year too. Have you noticed where he has a span where his triple-double just drops from like plus 500 to just like plus 110, and he just triple-doubles for like and then he'll eventually get back into being more aggressive. But like it happened last year as well, where he just went absolutely crazy in the passing department.
Yes, sir. You ready to get going, Stu? We got 23 live viewers in here. Please hit that like button, guys. I'll get a tweet out here. I haven't even got my tweet out. I just retweeted yours. So I'll let you kick us off. And we'll be doing this, working on the same guy here. So let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Got a little bit of an unofficial collab. Not quite, but same guy, same idea. I'm just going with the first quarter. My favorite place to be. Donovan Mitchell over 7.5 first quarter points is minus 120 over on FanDuel Sportsbook right now. As you guys know, my biggest play of the year early in the season was that Mitchell 6 first quarter points. I took it down 2, and then I combined it obviously with that Cleveland money line on the show. And I was looking at doing the same thing, right? Because once again, they have 6 points at an offering that I felt is disrespectful. And I still think it is. And I would highly recommend that if you're looking for a parlay piece, you love the 2 legs, that I think that 6 first quarter points is a great look. But for me, as I was doing my research, as I was diving deeper, I realized that you guys can keep the 2 points. I don't need them. I don't need to pay the juice right here because I'm very confident that Donovan Mitchell is going to have a very nice first quarter right here. When you look at his past history versus the Bucks, specifically with Giannis, because I don't think it's helpful to look at those like backup end of season games. In his 4 games with Cleveland against Giannis, he's over this in 3 of 4 games with 10 points in each of the covers and then 4 points in the miss. What I want to look at in the miss is I want to look that the volume was still there. He played 7 first quarter minutes only in the miss, which would be lower than any game this year where he didn't run into foul trouble. So we obviously know he's going to play more than that. Probably the 9, 10, 11 minutes range is normally where he finds himself. And then the shooting numbers, right? 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. It confirmed the prior volume that we see in most of his outings. Even when he's not having, a great shooting outing, I want to see that the volume is there. And for me, Donovan Mitchell has been one of my favorite first quarter targets so far this season because the volume's there. We don't have too much offensive competition on this team right now. They really do allow him to run the offense a little bit more than expected. It's not just like he's a shooting guard, right? He's the point guard. I mean, he has the ball in his hands. He's operating the offense. So while there are a couple more assist opportunities, I just like that he's not playing a secondary role. He is always on ball. And for me, like I said, when you're looking at the recent numbers over the last 30 days, 8.8 first quarter points. When you even look at some of those past outings against Giannis, he was balling out back with the Jazz, right? When there were a lot of options. I don't want to look too deep in the history, but he does have a phenomenal history in this matchup. And just when we think, even outside of the first quarter in general, where do we want to attack this Bucks team? We know what they have in the paint. We know how strong that unit is. Guard play is what's been killing the Bucks. And for me, I think Mitchell has a great game. I know you're going to talk about it a little bit more, but for me, I just think the first quarter is a great opportunity to attack it over 7.5 points minus 120. And like I said, if you're looking for that, 2-leg parlay, if you have a steal that you like or something, I wasn't finding anything that I loved enough to combine it, that I liked more than the full game. But I really do think that 6 first quarter points is just disrespectful. This is a guy, he takes 2.5 first quarter threes alone. We're not even discount the jump shots. We're talking about he's going to take 2 to 4 threes every first quarter of the game, right? Of the season. So I want that against the Bucks. I think the volume is going to be there. I'm expecting another 10 plus point performance.
Yes, sir. I'm going to be on the full game points, rebounds, assists number here, 46.5. I know a tie. FanDuel's going to be minus 104, which I think is very fair. It's fair. If you just want to look at, you want to go game long hunting, we'll do that a little bit here. Just over the last 2 games, just absolutely going berserk. 34 points, 45 points in his last 2 games. What I do like is the minutes, man. The minutes are way up. You got Garland now, so the assist rate is up as well. You look at the last time they played each other, Mitchell nuked this number, 34, 9, and 6, and only shot 20% from 3. This dude was shooting all that and still did not even shoot the ball well, right? He can get to the paint at will if he really wants to. Brook Lopez, I think, is going to have to be all over Jared. I don't think you can help off Jared Allen because last game he had 30 on the Bucks because how many of those went from Donovan Mitchell driving, just kicking it to Allen for a free dunk / layup? You don't see Jared Allen dropping 30 in a game very often, right? But you also don't see a full, almost double-double on assists from Donovan Mitchell because they're trying to get the ball out of his hand. They still got 9 assists in that game, but still got 23 shots up, right? 14 for 23 he went in that game. And like I said, 8 of those 9 misses were threes. I don't expect him to be missing that often from the outside. The Bucks they're doing a little bit better on their drop coverage. Brooks at least trying to get out and show a little bit more. But in this spot, I just think that you saw what Jarrett Allen can do to you if you double. I think that those are going to be obviously the 2 high-end dudes in this spot. But my God, a 30 piece from Jarrett Allen in there, just all from Donovan Mitchell drives and kicks. You got Strus back. I'm happy to see he's healthy out there for those kick out threes. It's just these numbers without Darius Garland is just absurd. And I don't think people are talking about the Mobley injury as much because you're just talking about Garland because he's closer, guard, right? But yep. Mobley grabbed all those long rebounds that Jarrett Allen didn't get. Now you're seeing a lot of those go to Donovan Mitchell. Dude, this guy had a 12 rebound game 2 games ago. He had that 9 assist game against the Spurs, a 9 assist game against the Bucks. So has the ability to pop off in either category, which we always like to talk about. And I mean, would it be crazy if he drops 45 regular points? I wouldn't even be that surprised in this spot. We've seen, like I said, Monk go crazy on him, and across all categories, we've seen a 30-piece from De'Aaron Fox against these guys in that same game. We've seen a 14-assist game from Chris Dunn in the same game with 19 points from Colin Sexton, right? Our guards are not good. Andre Jackson I watched that game. I mean, I might be biased because I was at the game, but Andre Jackson literally was on the court for 10 minutes. The dude fouled out in like 10 minutes. Like, that's thoroughly impressive how garbage that dude was. So, Chris Middleton coming into the lineup does not make our defense any better. I don't know how Donovan Mitchell gets stopped by anybody tonight. Dude should be playing 40 minutes too. This game should be close, 4-point spread on the road. Should be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I feel like it doesn't kind of take a genius in this game to realize that Donovan Mitchell is set up for success. But I do like how you kind of went through both the rebounds and assists and stuff like that. Because I feel like when you talk about these props, most people just kind of put the baseline numbers, the hit rate and stuff like that. I really do feel like it's more important to focus on, like, you don't just throw rebounds and assists in if the hit rate is slightly better, right? I know a lot of people do, PRA is hitting 2 more times than PA. No, you want to look for like specific instances where you can make arguments that the rebounds are actually going to spike tonight or that the assists are going to spike tonight. And I definitely appreciate you doing that right here. So I love this play. I'm going to be tailing a little bit of full game action to go along with my first quarter scoring.
Yes, sir. And one last thing I'll talk about here, in conference, in division numbers, splits in the division, 32 points per game at home, 29 points per game versus the 27.9 on the road. So obviously a little more friendly shooting as well. Just another thing to add on to the Donovan Mitchell spot here. I'm sure he'll be popular and for good reasons. So let's get it going here, Stu. I don't think we have any other question. We got Plus Money Bob in the chat. We got Steven here as well. Appreciate you guys. Got any questions, drop them in the chat. We got one more NBA, one college basketball spot for you guys today. And let's do it.
Sounds good. I'm going over to Trey Young, over 27.5 points, -117 over on Caesars Sportsbook. For me, earlier in the show, I talked about blowouts, what might be close, what not be. For me, this is the other game that I identified as a very close matchup right here. We know about the Hawks, fast-paced, not a lot of defense. When you look across the board, the individual defense on this team has just kind of struggled, right? I mean, the sum of parts has come together, and it hasn't been super pretty. I've read a lot of very interesting analysis. The Hawks are a fun team because they've got a lot of young guys. It just feels like these pieces should be working together a little bit better than they are. And obviously on the other side, we have a team in the Magic, which is normally a scary matchup, right? You look at the Magic and you think this is a strong defensive team. I don't want to bet against them, but I think there are some factors in this game that make Trey Young a very appealing score. I mean, when we look at even defensive philosophy, right, there's broadly 2 different ways to look at it, right? It depends on the kind of defense you play, but generally some defenses are going to look to eliminate the star player on an opposing team. They're going to look to take out the ball handler, and you're going to make the secondary players beat them, right? You're going to add a lot of help defense. You're going to really try to slow down the main cog, right? And let these other like tertiary pieces kind of beat you. And then the other predominant style of defense is we're going to let your one guy go out there and he can do everything he can. We're not going to send help. We've got good defenders on our team, right? We don't need to overextend. We're going to let our good defenders play ball against your best player, and they're going to do the best they can. But because we don't send help, then all these shooters that are used to having these kind of easier shots, they're going to have a much tougher time. Obviously, there's no right or wrong answer, but looking at the kind of defenses that play in these certain styles is a great way to identify these matchups. And for me, when you look at it, what's really telling is the pick and roll ball handler numbers, right? Against the Magic so far this year, bottom 5 in defending the pick and roll ball handler, right? But they're very, very good against the centers, right? In the pick and roll, they've been very good. I saw a couple people, that guy bets on the under in assists right before the show, and I definitely like the logic right there. They're very good at slowing down the playmaking, but that's because they're not sending the help. They're daring you to shoot that, right? And what we've seen Trey Young take advantage of that. He's over in all 3 so far this game. He's been crushing this number against the Magic. And overall, when you look at it, right, Trey Young's playing very strong right now as well. It's not like we're coming in cold. It's not like the momentum isn't there. He's coming in playing good basketball. We got a good matchup where the volume and opportunity are going to be there. They're going to let him go one-on-one. It's not the easiest matchup in the world, but you want your guys in those one-on-one opportunities. I know we have a lot of football fans in here. I think the analogy we can use across the board is kind of like when you get your Justin Jefferson against a really good corner on the other side, right? For me, I'd almost rather him get that one-on-one coverage than all game. We're seeing double coverage. We're seeing safety help, right? Those are the kind of matchups that you want to avoid because you know they're going to send their, like Bill Belichick's the ultimate example of, we're going to stop your one guy. That is our complete goal, right? While other teams are completely different, they'll play one-on-one. They'll let their elite guys out there on an island, and it's kind of sink or swim. And for me, I think we've identified this as the Magic is kind of like a sink or swim team. They're going to let their guys go out there and ball. They've got some good individual defenders, but Trey Young is also a fantastic player. He's shown it so far this year. I think he has a lot of success tonight.
I love it. Yeah, I know I did see somebody talk about the under assists as well. So that's good to talk about there. I always like back at Trey Young, dude, especially in these spots where like the paint is going to be so hard to get to. This is such a good defense, wing defenders, and just so much length. Why would you even want to mess around with that? I'd rather take the guy who's shooting threes in this spot than the guy that we're working with, having to work against significantly worse or significantly better defenders. I'm not taking anything away from Jalen Suggs. I think he's been awesome this year when he's healthy. Good defender there. But if I'm getting even 10 minutes of Trey Young going against Cole Anthony, bro, this boy's about to shoot 10 times in 10 minutes and put up probably 15 of the points you need in those 10 minutes. Because Cole Anthony watching play defense a little different than Jalen Suggs, just a little bit. It should be interesting here. So let's get to this question here from our guy Colin. And then I will get to my college basketball play because I'm a little bit off the beaten path here. Thoughts on Jared Allen assists versus the Bucks? They gave up a bunch of assists to centers. We had 6 last game versus them. Without Mobley, line is 3.5. This tough part is for me is a lot of those numbers. I mean, if you look at these like last 10 games, you also got to remember they played Sabonis in that time, which is a pretty big boost to any center when you have him playing center and having that in your numbers for assists. Because like I said, he really wasn't looking to score. The only thing I'm worried about is I don't think Jared Allen is afraid of Brook Lopez by any means. Right, a lot of those guys are afraid to get men at the rim by Lopez there, and I don't think he really is. Like I said, he dropped 30 points in that game. Jared Allen also, I want to mention one thing. He played 40 minutes in that game. He played 3 more minutes than Donovan Mitchell in that game. So I don't expect a 40-minute performance. And if anything, I'd rather just play the points rebounds because I think he's just going to absolutely dominate the glass. But it's tough because, I mean, even when you go down these lists, right? You got a game against the Celtics where they had Horford in there playing, or I think Horford was out, but they had we have a matchup there with Looney, right? You got Dario Saric as these guys, like not guys that are trying to go and score, right? They're more willing passers. Where Saric had 6 assists, Looney had 3 assists in those minutes. I'd rather just go to what I know he's going to be doing. I would just be mad if Jared Allen goes berserk, 30 and 10, 30 and 15, and he has just 2 assists because he's 11 for 12 from the field, dunking on every time, So that's just me. I mean, obviously the numbers are probably pretty good, but I don't know. Do you think the same way as me? Or we?
I mean, for me, it's just kind of one of those, like I lean over. I would say I think all the data would point you towards the over. And I think with the logically thinking about it, right, with those big centers down there in the paint, with that very strong help defense, that you'd logically see more passing. Just like it's just not something I'm going to bet tonight. Like I just don't have that much interest in like I like betting on guys to do what they're really good at. I know that's an oversimplification at the end of the day. You can always find value in different spots. I play a lot of ugly players, but Jared Allen isn't out there to distribute the ball. That's not his job. He benefits from less Mobley, from less Garland, more ball handling opportunities. But at the end of the day, for me, that's not his job. That's not something that I've watched and been like, dang, I got to get more Jared Allen passing. That's what I'm, I just don't have that feeling. So for me, it's just a lean over, but no bet.
Good. Okay, so we are seeing it pretty similarly, which is good. I'm happy that we're kind of thinking the same way. All right, let's get it rolling here. I'm gonna be dropping a college basketball spot here for you guys. I like Donovan Mitchell too much. Didn't want to play another one that I wasn't fully invested in yet, but I'm gonna be going to Kentucky over 153.5, minus 115. They're facing off against Mississippi State here tonight. This is low for any Kentucky game. Literally, a Kentucky game should be in the 160s every time. They're in. Obviously, the number is there because Mississippi State's defense is pretty good, right? It is well ranked in KenPom if you want to go that way. But, I mean, this Kentucky team is filthy, bro. Like, top 10 adjusted offense, top 15 in pace. These guys want to run and gun, let it roll. But also at home, they're just a different beast, man. They're so good at home. Let's look at their last couple games here. 90 points on Missouri at home. 96 against Illinois State, 87 against North Carolina. And that's just in these games outside of North Carolina that are getting into this conference season, right? They're running these scores up, and they're scoring a ton. You just saw them scoring a 97-92 game against Texas A&M, and that's going to kind of transition me into the Mississippi State side where they're top 100 team in offensive rebounds. That's huge against Kentucky here, bro. Kentucky just gave up 25 offensive rebounds in a game, in a college basketball game to Texas A&M in that last matchup. Obviously, Texas A&M has Wade Taylor, who's absolute so good. Dropped 30-plus against this team. But what I'm saying here is if you're going to give up 25 offensive rebounds to Texas A&M, who obviously is number one in the country now after that game in offensive rebounds per game, what are you going to do with this Tolu Smith, bro? How are you going to guard this man? Tolu Smith is 6'11", 250, and you were giving up offensive rebounds to some guards, some like backup centers are getting offensive. What are you going to do against this guy? Tolu Smith, I'm telling you, is going to be a problem, bro. This is only his fourth game back, so his numbers aren't registered yet. You're not going to see him on like your ESPN page and stat leaders, but he's 24 minutes a game, 17-7. Right, this dude's a stud in only 24 minutes, averaging that. I don't see anybody matching up from Kentucky with this guy. If you want to go to their bigs, we just saw Texas A&M dominate Mr. Bradshaw when he tried to go down there. Only played like 4 minutes because he got 4 fouls. Then you go down the road. Trey Mitchell, fantastic scorer. He's not a big that's going to be matching up with this dude. This guy has a good jump shot. He shoots the 3-ball well. Phenomenal athlete, but he ain't matching up with no 6'11". He ain't going to be able to do anything against this guy. I think the pace from Kentucky will be able to help them get this rolling. But those second chance points, I think, keep Mississippi State in this game. Kentucky, again, I always bring it up. I back their first half team total at home every single game. I would rather stay for the full game because Kentucky, again, not only are they top 5 in first half scoring, they're top 10 in full game or in second half scoring too. Shoot the free throw well. They shoot phenomenal from the 3-point line at home. I just have a tough time seeing this game slow down. I don't see Mississippi State slowing these guys down. They can score in both levels. Josh Hubbard, 15 a game. They're going to be able to score everywhere. I like to see that against Alabama in their last matchup. They played Alabama at home, went to 156. That's a very good comp game in terms of pace. But obviously, I think Kentucky is on a absolute another planet than Alabama, especially Alabama on the road. Alabama on the road is significantly worse than Alabama at home. I only back them when they're at home. But that game played, I mean, they shot 61 shots in that game. We got a lot of turnovers, open ball turnovers, and 26 free throws for Alabama, which could be important. If Kentucky can get to the line here, I think we're going to see a lot of points from them. I like the team total for Kentucky, but I think the second chance points keep the Mississippi State game. Keep them close. And I'm going to be going with the over. I think this should be in like 156, 157.
Sounds good. And so while you were talking about that, I checked Prize Picks for Tolu Smith lines, and I
Okay.
wanted to see what you think about him. We got 15.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 24.5 PRA. That's what we're sitting at.
I think I almost would just play PRA because I think he's going to smash both those lines. Like, I would put them in both. I would put both of those in. Tolu Smith should do really whatever he wants in this game. They don't have the big guy. They don't have an AD down there anymore. They have very good guards.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing is, can he stay out of foul trouble? But the thing is, he's only been playing 24 minutes because he's coming off an injury, right? It's only his 5th game back. But you start to see the minutes creep up. So if you can find Tolu Smith props, I'd definitely bet on some Tolu Smith props, rebounds or points. I think he should absolutely dominate this game. And just stay out of foul trouble, buddy. Don't be going up on those guards, man. I like both sides. I like Kentucky. Yeah, Luke, you can play the team total, man. Play the team total. I'm fine with that. But I think Mississippi State keeps this close. I don't think this is a blowout by any means. You guys know how much I play Kentucky. I play them almost every single home game that they have. I just think this is a tough matchup. Mississippi State's going to be a tough matchup in this spot. I don't know if I give them 7 points. The number just keeps growing, right? People keep betting on Kentucky. It opened at 4.5, up to 7. So that means the team total just continues to go up. I'd rather just say here, I think this is a good number and close enough where we see some fouls at the end. In Kentucky, obviously at home, phenomenal free throw shooting team, which obviously I love to see.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to roll. I mean, I'm definitely tailing this spot, but I love the player props. So I'm going to throw Smith in a couple of Prize Picks lineups, or if you're an offshore guy like myself, Bet Online will definitely have, or maybe I definitely for this game. Half of your games, no, because you bet on random teams, but this is one we actually should have them for. So definitely ready to roll.
Yeah, just my last thing I'll mention here: 72% free throw percentage for Kentucky on the road. 75 at home. So it is 3%, full 3% is pretty significant. So I do agree. I do like Kentucky team total over, but like I said, I think 7's a bit big, but I want to have some exposure to both. So I'm going to take the over here and think both sides do their thing. It should be a good game.
Completely agree. I think we got some good ones today.
All right, let's recap here quick, Stu, and we'll get it rolling, my friend.
Sounds good. We got Trey Young over 27.5 points, -117 over on Caesars Sportsbook. Then we got Donovan Mitchell over 7.5 first quarter points. That is -120 over on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Beautiful. And I'll be on Donovan Mitchell as well. Over 46.5 points, rebounds, assists, FanDuel line. They're giving me a -104, man. Seems a little low to me. And I'm also going to be rolling with Kentucky I'm used to saying first half every time. Over 153.5, -115 for today's slate. Stu, you got anything for the people here? I know this is a little quicker show than usual, but obviously the game got cut. I know that you had a play in that game already. Yeah. So it kind of just threw a wrench in all that stuff.
Yeah, that's where I was going for long shots as well. So if you are still tuning in, we appreciate it. Leave a like while you're here. And if you are looking for some long shot action, I think we'll have some either on Twitter or over on YouTube. I literally have nothing. Normally, at least I have a couple options. I'm just not always, I don't want to share them on the platform if I don't love them, but I do have one. We got Suggs threes. The boys in Discord cooked that up last night, so I tailed them on it. I love it. We're going to ride with those Suggs threes. It's literally the only long shot I have. Rode that ladder up last night. No credit for me at all. It's the boys in Discord cooked this one up, but I wanted to share it because I like it. And we've been riding hot in the Discord. We just had that Trey Palmer I'm pissed touchdown narrative at 500. That made my weekend right there that he scored, because that was so fucking funny that he's now scored every game he's woken up. He's pissed. So we got good energy going in the Discord. If you want to be in a place like that, that'll be my plug. You can join my free Discord. We got a lot of smart guys in there talking football, basketball, college hoops, even some NHL, even though I try to ban everyone that talks about hockey. It still slips in there some way or another. A lot of good stuff. Definitely go check it out. You can find the link in my Twitter bio.
What do you want me to put for the Suggs ladder? What do you want me to put? Do you want to put anything on there, or just Jalen Suggs threes?
You got to listen, man. You got to, if you were here, I'll put it up, actually. Let me see what number.
You didn't give me any lines. You just told me you're taking
no,
the ladder.
Not you. I meant the fans. That wasn't at you. I'm saying, if you're here, you got to listen. We're not putting up, but then I said, never mind. That's stupid. So I'll check what I had.
Last thing here from Colin was looking at Jovel on the Pels points rebounds versus the Hornets. who've been getting dominated by centers, has some great history. I don't know, dude. I never can get Valanciunas right. With Larry Nance healthy, I never bet Joe Val when Larry Nance is out, which is very often. I bet on him. But, dude, Larry Nance plays every minute Joe Val is not on the court. And Larry Nance is not bad. He is not a bad basketball player. He's very good points per minute. I just related all the fantasy because that's what I'm talking about here a little bit. But phenomenal what he does on the court. Rebounds, scoring, and it's tough for me when there's a guy that good behind you. If you're struggling, you get in foul trouble, you're just going to give more minutes to that guy. So I can never pick him right. So I just never bet on Joe Val. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Oh, man, we're kind of in the same boat. Joe Val, like, he's done me dirty so many times over the years. It's a good matchup. I looked at it really close. For me, I kind of emphasized with my picks, I'm really trying to avoid the blowouts as much as possible. And at the end of the day, that means you have to be extremely selective. And, man, Joe Val, the minutes inconsistencies just over the years, foul trouble, whatever it is. Like you said, Nance. I love Nance. Give me more Nance. Like the Nance, the Kyle Andersons of the world, these kind of role players, I love those guys. So I'm kind of in the same boat of you of, like, I lean over. I was looking at it kind of close, but man, how much do you trust the Hornets in these situations? How much even do you trust the Pelicans? I don't trust either of these two teams. So for me, it was kind of just out of, being selective, out of being cautious. I like what I got. I was cool with it, but I agree. It's a good angle. It looks really good on paper to me as well.
Yeah. Foul trouble and very high chance of blowout as well. Just two ways of getting you off this number, right? Of giving me less minutes and how often do they get blown out? How often does Joe Val get in foul trouble? It's way too often for me to be throwing a pretty big bet on this or throwing a bet on a spot like this. Also, I thought that line was way too big, bro. That would have been my dog. If we were betting a dog, it's just 13 points, bro.
Yeah.
13 points, just nuts, man. Especially with LaMelo actually playing minutes now. That boy's playing big boy minutes now. And obviously there's no defense, but it is what it is, man. It's just I never trust the Pelicans, man. They just have so many bodies they can throw in there. Hawkins dropped 34 when all those dudes were out. Like, why did we not see more minutes for him? You could put more minutes for him. You could put Alvarado more minutes. You got all these dudes on the bench that are good. And then you got CJ, Brandon Ingram. Like, you need him to get like 5 offensive rebounds. Like in just putbacks, which is very possible.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, I definitely lean towards the over. It's just one of those that it's a stay away game for me.
Sounds good. Did you have a line there on the Suggs?
Yeah, we're going Suggs, 4 threes and 2 steals at 20-1, baby. If we're gonna go grand, let's go grand. Why not? Like I said, I got the 3 threes, got the 4 threes, but I like this little 4 threes and 2 steals combo at 20-1 over on FanDuel right now. Man, we've already talked about the Suggs defense, but he's sneaky, one of the better point of attack guys out there. It's a lot of spike performances, definitely like the long shot ability right here. So shout out to everyone that was calling out Suggs. I like the angle right here. I like the opportunity. If you want to get crazy, maybe a little bit of Bogdanovich on the other side, little threes ladder. I definitely think there's some potential from the outside in that game.
All right, last thing. We know how good Jalen Johnson's been. Are you looking at him at all today in that matchup? Tough wing defending spot, but dude, this dude is just like almost matchup proof right now, dude. He's grabbing so many rebounds. He's even getting assists now. He had like 7 assists last game, like 15 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. That was not a line I was expecting from this dude. Are you expecting a good game from him? And almost like this is almost like a full-on test because he has been matchup proof in these last like 7-8 games, man, where he's just been going nuts, getting 35 plus minutes. Now we have a tough spot. Are you expecting that trend to continue? Are you expecting him to just keep crushing?
I mean, I really like him. It's so hard to say anything negative. I'll just say for me, what kind of held me away from betting on him is I just like to get guys in their more ideal conditions, right? And to me, when I look at him, he wants to pressure the rim on offense. He wants to get out in transition. He wants to run. He wants to be in a little bit more of a spread out situation where he can crash the boards really aggressively. The Magic want to slow it down. They want to make it ugly. They're very good at protecting the rim. They don't allow too many offensive boards, like it's one of those teams where like they kind of like like slow down a lot of the stuff that he does really well. So I would say rebounds is what stuck out to me. I think he might have a little bit more trouble in the scoring department personally. That's what I would be a little bit more worried about. But just even with the slower pace, just the rebounds as a whole, this guy is insane. And you want to back that kind of athleticism, that kind of aggression. And like you said, it's gone from what, like 25, 27 minutes to like, he's the guy. Like, we got to get this guy as many minutes as possible. So definitely it's going to be very hard to play. I am considering under on points, though. I will say that. But I think the rebounds, the other categories is where it could pop off.
You get more one a good old salute to Mr. DeAndre Hunter, probably seeing his ass chipped because of Jalen Johnson.
That's one thing we probably didn't expect. People have been talking about Hunter as like, Hunter's that piece. We just need to figure. I mean, coming into the year, Hunter probably had like a ton of hype, a ton of pressure that you're going to be that third guy. But he goes out for a week and his job is just yoinked. I know he's obviously still, waiting to get back out there and stuff like that. But whenever he does return, I mean, the opportunity is not going to be what it was before. Especially they got Bay, they got Bogdan. Like, you have too many. They got AJ Griffin, who was legit good in NBA minutes and now is playing in the G League. Like, come on, we got to free up some minutes for some of these guys. And if I'm a team like the Wizards, like the the Grizzlies that are playing for nothing, why not send out offers for AJ Griffin? If they're sending him to the fucking G League, I want this kid. So it'll be interesting. One of those guys has got to be gone. I don't know which one it is, but I think, like you said, Hunter is kind of the common sense kind of answer.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys for popping in today, joining us. I know we had to move it up a little bit, but hey, we're here. We find a way to make it happen. We'll see you guys Friday for some NFL. Obviously, got a lot to talk about there. Should be a fun show, breaking down every single game on Friday. But today, NBA, one NCAA spot. Good action. Stu, anything else before we head out today?
No, man. I mean, I had some rants ready, but we got to be quicker. So come Friday. Friday's going to be great. We have special guest Ben Wolby coming into the show. That is going to be sick. He killed it last year on the show in the playoffs. I'm ready to go. NFL is going to be fire. So if you enjoyed today, tune in with us on Friday again at 1 p.m. We're going to crush that show.
Sounds good. Awesome. See you guys Friday. We'll be back at normal time. We'll be back at noon on Friday, back for some NFL action. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you guys on Friday, and best of luck on all your bets tonight, guys.